If you are a Detroit Lions fan, then get ready because everybody is talking about how they have completely changed the game and are winning. And it's so exciting for longtime Lions fans. And with us today is a lifelong Lions fan who has watched the agony and the defeat and is now celebrating the triumph with much more to come, hopefully. I want you to meet Barry Schumer, author of I Don't Believe It. We're Good, the new Detroit Lions. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Great to be here.
Yes, this is your second time because you wrote this book, came out last fall, and the Lions are the talk of the town here in Detroit and across the country because we are contenders on a national scale now. So tell me about the excitement.
Well, it's been a fantastic season for our boys in Honolulu Blue and Silver. They are 11-5 as we speak today. They have their last game coming up Sunday at home against Minnesota. And it's hard to know what's going to happen in that game because that game is meaningless to the Lions. And I'm not even sure the Vikings have a chance to make the playoffs. So we're going to see if Dan Campbell, our coach, rests our players or he says he's going to play the starters. We're going to see. You got to be careful not to have an injury going into the playoff game in 10 days. So they've had a great year. My prediction in the new chapter was that they would go 11-6. So I've met that prediction. And the other prediction is that I had in the book is that we're going to be playing in the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. And I'll tell you, the team is so good this year. They've provided such great entertainment and amazing Sundays for fans that it's not really out of the realm of possibility that we're going to be playing in the Super Bowl February 11th in a month from now.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Woohoo!
Now, I'll tell you, Elizabeth, what Lion fans are dealing with now is what happened in Dallas Saturday night when they are claiming that we lost the game. Lion fans know we won this game. We were the victim of a horrible call by a referee at the end of the game with 23 seconds to play. Nobody thought the Lions could get the ball back with 1:45 to go and drive down the field and get the apparent game tying or winning touchdown, but they did. Goff just out of nowhere leads this perfect drive down the field, and he throws a touchdown pass to St. Brown with 23 seconds left in the game. I'm at my brother's place in Daytona Beach, and we're going crazy. We're screaming, they won the game. They won the game. And about 12 seconds after the play, a penalty flag is thrown on the field. And maybe you didn't see the game, but they said that the Lions did not report properly for one of their offensive linemen being an eligible receiver, Taylor Decker, number 68. And all the video evidence, they're claiming the referee says our other guy is the one, number 70, that did say he was an eligible receiver. It's as though the referee got confused. Personally, you have to start questioning if the NFL is being paid off or there's a fix with a referee, either by bookies or somehow with the Dallas Cowboys. The same kind of thing happened in 2014 in the playoffs in Dallas, where a flag was thrown and they just picked up the flag on an obvious pass interference against a Lions player. So
Mm.
we were devastated Saturday night in Dallas because that game had a lot of ramifications. If we would have won it, we would have had a chance at having 2 home playoff games instead of 1. So the Lions got screwed by the NFL. I don't know how else to say it. And there's a history of these bad calls going against the Lions. One of the sports reporters looked at the history and said that in his research, the Lions get 3 times the amount of questionable or strange referee calls than any other team in the league in the last 15 years.
What?
So that's not
Oh,
good. So we don't know what to make of it. But, our head coach, Dan Campbell, handled it with such grace. He's such a solid professional that after the game, he was very upset. He said, look, my team lost. I don't like losing. And our guys reported correctly. He even said he went over this play with the officials before the game, that this play might likely happen. And so he was just very frustrated, but he handled himself well. The team handled themselves well after the loss. Uh, all the players, you have to understand, are very careful because if you say something about the officiating, you can get $100,000 fine by the league. So they're all being very careful not to question the officiating and this kind of thing. But our leader of the team, Jared Goff, our quarterback, he really handled it well. He simply came to the podium and said, Decker reported and number 70 did not. And that's all he said. And meaning it was a legitimate play and they stole a win from the Lions. It was a very important win. So I have to tell you, it was the most devastating moment I've been through as a fan the whole last 65 years.
Oh my gosh, that's saying a lot.
That's saying a
Be-
lot because we've had a lot of terrible moments. In my book, the chapter, the top 20 I don't believe it moments, this
yeah.
zooms right directly to number one on my list. What happened in Dallas Saturday night with the
Oh,
Decker call.
wow.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a curse. That sounds like a
Well, we've talked about a
strategic.
curse before, but I'm not really buying the curse anymore. I think something's a little weird with the officiating in the NFL. You got to understand, after we get this touchdown, we throw a pass for 2 points. Instead of kicking the extra point, Campbell could have kicked the extra point and gone into overtime. But he said, we're just going to get out of here. We're going to either win it or lose it right now and go for a 2 point conversion. And they throw a
Mhm.
pass to a guy who's 6'6", 310 pounds, who never receives passes. He's a lineman. He catches it, and it looks like we've won the game. So it was very bizarre. Very bizarre. Now,
Whoa.
the good news for Lions fans, let me get to the positive. The good
Okay.
news for Lions fans is that we play our first home playoff game at Ford Field in the history of Ford Field. The Lions have never played a playoff game in Ford Field in about the 15 or 20 years they've been there. Okay. Any playoff appearance they've had has been on the road. So because we
Uh-huh.
won the division, we get to play our first playoff game at home. I'm predicting on your show today that the Lions win that game. It's most likely going to be against the Packers. We thought it was going to be against the Rams and Matthew Stafford, our ex-quarterback. It's either going to be the Rams or the Packers. Hopefully we win the game. It'd be very disappointing to end the season with a home playoff loss like that. But I think we're going to win. And then guess where I think we're going to go after that for the second round of the playoffs? I think we will be going back to Dallas. So I say, Lion fans, we're going to be getting our revenge soon. So that's a summary of the bizarre week for Lion fans this week.
Okay. All right, Barry. You heard it here first, everybody. Barry's predictions, and he made the 11-6 one. So let's trust and let's also keep our fingers crossed for February 11th, Super Bowl, Detroit Lions, right?
Yes,
How exciting. Oh my gosh. What city is the Super Bowl in this year?
Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was going to be wild and crazy.
Yes, yes.
Would you go? Are you going?
I would love to. The tickets are probably $2,000 or $3,000 a seat.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to think about going because I mean, how many chances do Lion fans get to go see their team in the Super Bowl? The
Right.
truth is, most likely they won't be there this year, but I really believe that they're going to be there in the next year or two. We're very close to
Uh-huh.
having a dominant kind of team, and Dan
Yeah.
Campbell is just a terrific coach.
Uh-huh. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Barry, let's just hop into one question that I'm fascinated by is what is the psychology of being a fan? Why do you love it so much? What do people get? Whenever I'm at an event, I'm like, why are all these people here and why are they so into it? Like jumping up out of their seats, screaming, happy or mad. What is that?
That's a good question. That's a great question. I actually write
Thank you.
about it in the book. Since
Hmm.
I have my background in psychology, I sort of
Right.
analyze why do fans get so intense? And I
Uh-huh.
believe it's got to do with to be happy in life, you need to feel a sense of passion about something, whether it's a relationship, a career, you have to have some passion or something that really drives you and excites you. And for a lot of people, sports is that passion. either that they play sports or they follow college or professional sports. So they throw their entire heart and soul into supporting their team, whether it's the University of Michigan that's playing for a national championship Monday night in college football, or the Detroit Lions playing in their playoff game in 10 days. We throw everything into this, and it's a great release from the stress of life, from the difficulties of life. So for that period of time, you completely just leave your life and you leave your problems behind. And I think that's really what it is, besides the fact that we get great satisfaction out of supporting the team that represents our city, the city that we love, you know? So it is if, and, you know, sometimes it represents, I write about this in the book also, that something is missing in somebody's life. There's a hole in their life. There may be sad, they may be depressed, there may be, you know, empty. And this fills that hole, at least temporarily or during the football season. So
Mm-hmm.
there's all kinds of reasons why people get so passionate about sports, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
healthy outlet for sure.
Uh-huh. I love that. Thank you for clarifying because it
Sure,
really,
sure.
I remember being at the big house, U of M, packed in 104,000 or more people, shoulder to shoulder, like, wow, all these people are here to watch this game. And they're like screaming and their faces are painted yellow and blue. And
It is really fascinating, the kind of intensity and passion that goes on with it. And I have to tell you, what happened with this past game in Dallas that I talked about for a while, it shakes up a passionate NFL fan because football is one of the honest, truthful, pure things we still have left in life. So much of life has gotten corrupted. If you look at the country, politics, different issues in the country, people feel like too many people cheat. People think that things are corrupted. And if we have to think that the National Football League is cheating or corrupted or bought off, that would be a devastating, painful thing to an NFL fan. Do you understand?
yes.
So that's why this was quite a big issue. What happened in Dallas last week?
Wow. 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 So what's to come of that? Like, can
Well,
it
I'm
be
not sure.
rectified?
If you look at the NFL's reaction to what happened, they've already announced that this referee, Brad Allen, is going to be demoted because of what happened in Dallas, and he will not be getting a playoff game this year. On the other hand, he's playing. He's refereeing a very big game this weekend, Pittsburgh against Baltimore. So I'm not sure if that's their way of admitting that he blew it, that he got confused or something happened. I'm not sure what's going to come of it, but the NFL has a significant problem on their hands. They have had real serious problems with officiating for many years now. They either
Mm.
have to get better officials who are maybe full time, or they have to figure this out. Now, the NFL has an advantage because they have like a foolproof product. No matter what happens, people are so addicted to this game and they love the game so much that most
Uh-huh.
people are not going to walk away. You see,
Mm-hmm.
when they had the
Mm-hmm.
controversy several years ago about players kneeling for the national anthem, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fans got very upset, said, I'm not watching games anymore. They were able to survive that controversy. Now they made some changes. The players no longer were kneeling for the national anthem. Now the controversy about official calls, and it's not just Detroit, many cities have been upset about the officiating. I've got a interesting story. I don't mean to harp on this one area, but it's very important what happened. Years ago, the New York Jet football team sued the National Football League because of a bad officiating call that cost them the game. They went to court and they lost the case in court. And the judge basically said the reason they lost is because the National Football League is considered an entertainment business. An entertainment business is a pretty vague kind of term, which
Mm-hmm.
means their job is to entertain fans.
Right.
You see, so it leaves it open to sort of the NFL can sort of do what they want to do. You
Yeah.
see. But they know that to keep the purity of this game, they've got to have the fans' confidence that officials are not bought off, paid off, and that they're doing a proper job. These young men work too hard and kill themselves to get to this point in the season to have an official just steal a game from them.
Wow. Wow. That's rough. That's horrible.
So that's the big news
Um,
for Lion fans this past week.
it's awesome. So Barry, let's talk about your book.
Sure.
It's actually the fourth edition of a book that you started writing out of the frustration of Lions losing and not doing a championship since 1957, right?
Correct.
Hmm.
And during that time,
So,
only having one playoff win.
yeah. But as a lifelong fan, you still stuck with them. And then now you're here to celebrate the glory. I mean, the very first win of the season, their first game was just so extraordinary, right? Take us there.
Against the Super Bowl champs, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So back in was it September, the first game,
Yes.
when they had their first win of the season, which was the first game?
Against the Super Bowl champions from last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah.
Hmm. And how did you feel?
Well, that was a special night. That was a great night because it was a follow-up from the previous season, ending 8-2 the previous season. And everybody was anticipating this new season. You're going against the world champions at their place, and they win 21-20. Kansas City is not quite the same team this year. They've had sort of a rough season. They're going to make the playoffs, but we're not sure how far they're going to go. But again, in the playoffs, anything can happen. So Lion fans are pretty positive because our team is sort of peaking at the right time. We
Hmm.
still haven't played our best football game yet. It may be coming in that first playoff game at home. Now you never know what happens. The Packers could come in here. They beat us pretty badly on Thanksgiving Day here in Detroit. But now this would be a third time we've been playing them. These two teams know each other very well.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think the Lions will be favored by 3 or 4 points, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen. The NFL is what makes it so exciting. But if we win
Hmm.
that home playoff game and we go to Dallas, I mean, we could go to Dallas, we could go to Philadelphia. I want to get back to Dallas because I want some revenge for what happened Saturday night.
Okay.
But again, you just don't know what's going to happen. But I can tell you this that the next 5 years here in Detroit, we are going to have a really solid team. I'm going to go out on the limb right now saying we're playing so well right now, and you add certain pieces next year in the draft and free agency. I think we could easily go 14-3 next year.
Oh, wow. Again, you all heard it first here. Barry Schumer, he knows. He's got the vision.
So they've given us a great season. It's been a blast watching them. This is
Uh-huh.
to me the best team we've ever had in Detroit in my
Hmm.
lifetime.
And in the book, you give high praise to the new leadership. Can you talk about that, please?
I do. Sheila Firestone Ham Ford is the owner that took over in 2021. She was very smart and brought Chris Spielman in as her consultant, the star linebacker from the days of Barry Sanders. And together they brought on Brad Holmes, the general manager from the Rams, and they hired then Dan Campbell, our head coach. And it looks like Sheila Ford has gotten this right. Okay,
Hmm.
these three men, Spielman, Holmes, and Campbell, have just put a great team together, and it's only going to get better. The team is only
Hmm.
going to get better. Football is a sport that builds from year to year. Now, you have to deal with contract problems, and some people leave because they want more money, and each team is a little different year to year, but the chemistry going forward, it takes several years to build this chemistry and this
Hmm.
winning feeling in an organization. And
Uh-huh.
Campbell has done just that. He had 3 wins his first season and then 9 wins last year. This year, if they win Sunday, he'll end up with 12. So I mean, that's quite a progression that he's built, and it's just going to go on in next year. So Lion fans are going to be very entertained the next several years, and I'll be extremely surprised if we don't reach the Super Bowl in the next few years.
Oh, how exciting. So is the Super Bowl coming back to Detroit anytime soon?
You know, I don't know that it is right now. I don't think there's any plans for coming back to Detroit.
Hmm.
I know it's going to be in California after Nevada, and I'm not sure where else after that, but they tend to not bring it back to cold weather states, even though we have a dome.
Oh,
Because when
oh,
you're coming for a week or two, reporters and all the people, they prefer to be in warm weather places.
yes. Hello,
And it's
hello.
for fans too coming to the game. You don't want to walk to a game in 10 degrees out in February in Detroit.
Oh my goodness. No, you're right. You're right. So it's so exciting when you're downtown and there's this like river of Honolulu blue and silver people wearing jerseys and all kinds of paraphernalia walking around the area of the stadium, Ford Field. It's just so cool. The energy is like just makes the air ignite. It's exciting.
It is
And so now,
exciting.
and that was even when they were losing. So now you can just feel this joyous energy and this excitement
Oh,
um, when you see all the
absolutely.
people
The playoff
and the
game,
huge traffic jams.
yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of traffic. The playoff game next week in Detroit, it is going to be so loud in Ford Field. I mean, it's probably going to be the loudest you've ever heard it at Ford Field. You'll hear it over the TV,
Uh-huh.
and the fans are just going to be completely pumped and ready for this game. So it's the
So,
biggest.
Barry, let's talk about why people should read your book. What do they get out of it?
Well, they're going to learn a lot about the Detroit Lions, and they're going to learn a lot about what it's been like to be a Detroit Lions fan for many, many years and how difficult it's been to stay loyal to the team, although we have, and all the pain and suffering and heartbreak. But what they'll really walk away from reading the book is just the intense passion that football fans have for their team from their city, and how it's a big part of American folklore and American society. What people do on a Sunday for entertainment and to
Yeah.
relax and to
Uh-huh.
forget their problems and worries in life and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
and they'll get a lot of history and statistics of the team, what happened, the coaches, the players, the records. So you'll learn a lot about what's happened over the last several decades. And then in the new chapter, you'll see just what's happened and changed in the last 3 years to get where we are today, to this really positive, hopeful point that Lion fans are at today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. That's exciting. So your book is available on anywhere that people can buy books online. It's at Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's on Apple Books, it's also at twosisterswriting.com in our bookstore. And read the book. It's super fun and it's very informative. And Barry's writing style is very engaging and high energy. And it's just an awesome book. So, Barry, tell me more about do you continue to write? If you feel happy or upset, do you write about it now?
You mean about the Lions or other things?
Yes. No, the Lions.
Well, I'm not writing anything right now. I'm just enjoying the rest of the season as a fan,
Okay. Uh-huh.
right? But I am enjoying just the whole atmosphere of the book and people purchasing the book and asking me to sign it. I was over at a sports bar recently. A woman came up to me with 2 copies of the book and wanted me to sign it, and that was sort of fun. I was
Uh-huh.
at my brother's condo in Daytona Beach, and I saw two Lion fans, a husband and wife, wearing Lion jerseys. And they remembered that I'd written this book, and they said, "Hey, I bought it for my husband's birthday. Can we come up and have you sign it?" So I'm getting a real
Oh,
kick out of just engaging with fans. And I'm on
oh,
Twitter. I'm on Twitter, and I'm talking to a lot of fans on Twitter. And
uh-huh.
so the whole thing is pretty interesting. And it's as an author to write a book about something that I have such a great love and passion for.
Yeah.
The cool thing, Elizabeth, is that, you're obviously looking for book sales and you want to make some money and that kind of thing. But it's something that it's sort of a legacy for me that this book is going to be here forever.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
after I'm long gone, people will read this and see, oh my God, I can't believe what Lion fans went through back then.
I
So
love that.
that's sort of a cool feeling too.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm constantly telling people that your book is your legacy. It's going to last forever after you're gone, and people can read it. And also looking back at the sad history of our losing streaks for so many years, and then when we're triumphant, especially if we go to the Super Bowl and win, oh my gosh, That is just like from tragedy to triumph, and that's the best story you can tell. So, Barry, wow. Everybody, I highly recommend that you read this book because it'll give you so much insight. And Barry is a therapist by day, and so he provides this really awesome psychological perspective, not in a clinical way, but just understanding why people love sports and the Lions and why they hung in there like he did for so long, since childhood.
Yes, and I'll tell you,
So,
Elizabeth, if we win the Super Bowl, the parade in Detroit will be like nothing you've ever seen. I mean,
yes.
Dan Campbell will be given the key to the city. I mean, he is a complete hero in the city already. You can
Yeah.
imagine if he wins the Super Bowl. He'll go crazy. I mean, this is a real passionate, intense guy,
Uh-huh.
and that's what you need in a head coach in the NFL.
Awesome. 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 Well, I can't wait to see what's in store for the next game. Hopefully the Super Bowl and years to come, Barry. And you called it here. Everybody remember that. Barry called it. So
It's going to be a
any
very big next few weeks for us. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, as far as writing anything in the future, I think I said to you before, I would love to write the fifth and final edition saying, I don't believe it, the Lions won the Super Bowl.
that would be amazing.
It
Oh
would
my
be.
goodness.
It would
Yeah,
be.
let's call that now. Let's call that into from the universe. I love it. I love it. Well, that was the mic drop moment, so I think we should wrap it up. Barry, any final words?
No, just hey, Lion fans, enjoy the playoff game coming up in 10 days and hopefully the one after it a week later. Let's get back to Dallas and let's just take care of business and go Lions.
Yes, go Lions. All right. Excellent. Well, Barry, thank you so much for contributing this awesome book to the world that truly is your legacy. It's an absolute delight to read. And everybody, please purchase the book at twosisterswriting.com or Barnes& and Noble or Amazon. It's in hardcover, paperback, and ebook, and you will love this book. So thank you, Barry. And thank you for being an author here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. We're so very, very proud of you.
You are welcome, Elizabeth. Thanks for the great job you did with publishing the book and for this interview today. I appreciate it. I'll look for it on YouTube.
Yes, 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 yes. And everybody, please remember to get the book, and we wish you happy writing and go Lions.
Go Lions. See you, Elizabeth.
Okay, bye, Barry.
Bye.